been so long, I forgot I had to connect my fucking mic. God damn. Ugh. 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 Elf booba time? Not really. The shadow of a Mystara. What a weird word. I don't even know how to pronounce that shit. Doesn't really have much boobs. She's primarily a leg character, if anybody who's played the game knows. She has a hyper mini skirt, and at all times they're emphasizing that you might be able to see her panties, but you can't because it's a two-dimensional game. Mains! And the night. I like how the characters in Shadow of Mystara is the elf is literally Deedlit and the thief is literally I forgot the woman's name. JoJo Part 3 lady. They didn't even try and hide it. Capcom has like the best character designs and best character designers of all time, but they also just like straight up blatantly just copy real life human beings or other series characters without any kind of like zero fucks given. And then when they port the game to the West, they're like, maybe we shouldn't have a character who's obviously Mike Tyson called M. Bison. That might be a little blatant. We might get sued. So they're like, okay, we'll just shuffle the fucking names around. And now we have a problem in which there's inconsistent names for all of our characters depending on where the game is published for the next 40 years. Oh, Capcom, you silly goose. I also wish Deedlit was real. She's real to me! Where? I mean, I haven't drawn elves and abs in several days, so I guess it's not like I was deprived of them, but... Actually, depending on the image, the D&D video game elf has a lot of boobs. They're just not emphasized. She's not like super flat or anything. In fact, depending on which image you're looking at, she's absolutely stacked. She has big, big boobs. It's just not emphasized. Oh! I'm surprised at how fast you made the gap take form. The elf must have super thin waist and super thick. The question is, how thick do you want to make the thighs? Because depending on who's drawing it, the thigh thickness is pretty different. But as you can see from this art image, the elf thighs are clearly the most important subject that this video game has to say more than anything. Approximately 85% of this image is just the gap between the elf's thick, muscular thighs. Peak design, again, it's literally deep lit. Including the coloring and the cape and shit. People didn't care that much in the 90s if there was a super popular character and then video game company was like, but what if we also had that super popular character in our video game? No one was like, actually, Mr. Capcom, you can't just borrow the character design. You know, like Nintendo is doing versus Pal World. Yes. Yes. Probably should have a thigh gap here, even if it's slightly different. Did Dietlit have huge muscular thighs? She was pretty thin, I believe. If we make a little bigger and then like only to the knees, maybe. Again, we have to adjust the skirt so you barely just can't see the panties, so this is very important. It has to be like right on the edge of not being able to see the panties, which is why you have to draw the panties beforehand so you can adjust the skirt so that you just can't see the underwear. Very important. Nishimura Kinu understands this when she draws the character. Panties, what panties? Pepe laugh. If the local elf is refusing to wear panties, we must force her to wear them. It's completely uncivilized to not wear panties. We must not allow it. The nearly visible panties are where the boner is created. See, that's what we lost in the transition to 3D video games, where you can adjust the camera. Now the video game developers don't want to let people rotate the camera so they can look up women's skirts. Back in the day, we could really push the envelope to the maximum, you know? Where it's just like, but you're not allowed to see the underwear. Or sometimes you would be allowed to see the underwear for like just 2 or 3 frames at a time. You'd have to like smash that pause button to see the underwear, like in a lot of fighting games. I remember jacking off to Milia Rage's exposed panties when you would jump. back in middle school or something in Guilty Gear Iska. It was a more civilized time. I actually think we have a pretty serious problem in society right now, and that's there's too much gooning material. I reached this conclusion yesterday, is that I was overloading my dopamine, which was actually interfering with my ability to goon properly. This is combined with me getting older, so obviously I don't have as much semen production going on in general, but I do think I'm desensitizing myself to everything a little bit. Like, I just realized that in 2025, if you want to, like, supply yourself with stuff, there's, like, literally... You can get almost literally infinite amount of shit. And with AI, it's actually infinite. So, you basically have to, like, limit yourself from going full goon mode. I know you people are like, what, you're noticing this now? But, like, I kind of knew this, but, like, I think I really actually have to, like, I've reached the point where I really actually have to be like, okay, it's time for me to start taking responsibility for my gooning habits. Don't worry, it's all going to get censored off the internet soon. In my opinion, we take it for granted. Well, I'm not deleting any of my images, that's for sure, but at the current moment in time, I'm saying. Like, I've just sort of been systematically cutting down on everything in my life, basically. Less food, less video games, less gooning. Less exercise too, actually. Less calories in, less calories out. Just having a much more temperance-based lifestyle. And it's not like I want to become a monk or anything. It's just that I kind of realized that if I was allowed to consume with the same sort of mentality that I was in the 90s and shit, like there was really no limit to the amount of shit I could put in my body, so... You just gotta be picky and take long breaks between. Also, when I was still going out into society, I felt like I need to masturbate just to be sure that, you know, I wouldn't get horny when I was exposing myself to society. So I'd be like, I have to jack off before I go to work or something, which I think was like actually the right instinct for me. But now that, you know, I don't go to the office, it's not the same sort of situation. So I really don't have to, I don't have to be as diligent about my gooning habits. Bro discovered the Nirvana tech to maximize drawing gains. You mean not masturbating for 4 hours straight and shit? Yes. We finally figured it out, guys. The new scientific accomplishment. Don't waste half of your day looking at porn. I mean, I know this is hard for people to understand in the 90s, who didn't grow up in the 90s, but there was a time in my life where even if you collected all the porn that you liked, you would run out of porn you actually wanted to save. And you're like, well, I guess I'm done. And it took you like 20 minutes every like 2 or 3 days. You'd be like, oh, I found a doujinshi I like. I will save this on my computer. And then that's it. You're done. You found out the one doujinshi that you thought was fat worthy. And then there wasn't anything to save for the next, you know, week. Kids these days will never complete porn. Not only will they not complete porn, they don't even have to, they're probably not saving porn because they're probably assuming it's just going to be available to them non-stop. I bet kids nowadays don't understand that the internet is an ephemeral thing. In fact, I bet kids nowadays, they don't even like search for their own porn, is my guess. Like, I bet they're just fed whatever goon material they use through their TikTok feed or some shit. I'm taking the whole Zoomers don't know how to use PCs boomer complaint even further, and I'm going to say that not only do they not know how to use PCs, they probably don't even know how to use the internet. They've had everything curated for them their entire life. So they don't know the concept of like going to 4 different hentai sites to find the best scan of whatever doujin that doesn't have the shitty watermarks on it or whatever. It will be interesting to see the free and open internet die. I mean, I'm not looking forward to it. But, yeah. It's coming, right? We're in phase 1 right now, or maybe phase 2. Britain is already in phase 4, of course. Will they go back to real life? I think some people will eventually go back to real life. But maybe not this generation. Tell me about it. The face went British. Are you actually British? Because I actually want to know about the state of how you use the internet right now. Because Solus, the YouTube dubber that you know, is actually paying me parts of his YouTube revenue is in Britain, so he has to deal with this shit, and he's like, yeah, you have to send me the your Twitter comics because I can't check Twitter. I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't think this would actually affect me, but it is. So it's like do you have to like log into each site individually? I guess question 1 is, do you have a VPN, and does that solve everything as long as you have a VPN? I guess that would be question 1. Something tells me the genie's out of the bottle, though. The internet is hard to completely censor. I mean, it doesn't have to be completely censored, but they're going to want to try and censor as much as possible. My VPN lets me browse with no issues. I think VPN, I mean, if there's one winner in all of this shit, is that going forward, VPNs are going to be mandatory for pretty much people in every country, probably, right? It's not just going to be Britain. I already know that people can't use Twitter in other European countries because Elon just used the opportunity to block everybody. He just wants them all to be signed up to his shitty, you know, pay $10 a month for fucking Twitter of all things. The big winners of this are VPN companies and piracy. Like, I'm generally more anti-pirate than pro-pirate because I think all the pirates who are like, I do this for, you know, free internet, blah, 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 are just like, you know, just fuck off, just say you don't want to pay money for shit. But we're getting to the age in which where it's like, yeah, we're all going to have to be pirates now because, yeah, good luck trying to pay for things legally going forward. It's going to be the great age of piracy. They overcomplied way too early, which makes people aware of what's coming. I don't know, man. Are people aware of this shit? The type of people that tune into a 50-person viewer Twitch stream about drawing elf abs are probably aware of this shit. But I don't know about, the millions of other people out there. I mean, how many people even made a big deal out of Pornhub getting hit, right? And Pornhub was the ultimate normie. I'm just going to go to Pornhub to jack off. Easy source of porn. And yet I didn't hear much complaints from it. The normies don't care genuinely. They also don't care about giving away their own, driver's license information to the fucking government just so they can browse Pornhub or whatever. So, yeah. My coworkers actually just uploaded their ID to every site that's asked. It's mad. I mean, not the Prime Minister, but was it the Prime Minister? One of the British politicians was straight up being like, please, sir, you must not use a VPN. Well, I don't know, I'm doing the Indian accent, but yeah. You must protect the children by not buying the VPN. Please do the needful. And then, 80% of Brits were like, oh, that sounds great, mate. Surely the government is looking out for my best interests. It's gonna really kick in after chat control is passed in October, probably a year later. Jesus Christ. Or a tech minister who failed science at school. I mean, in America we had, who was it, Pam Bondi? Was it the White House spokesperson woman who was like, guys, there's nothing to fear about A1. Like she was talking about A1 steak sauce. Bitch literally didn't even know what the AI meant, what it stood for when she was talking about AI. I don't think anything could get funnier than that. I think he actually called people that use VPNs as child predator enablers. Keck W. Man, these people. Surely after all these measures that all these governments are taking, there will definitely be fewer pedophiles out there, am I right? Fellow pedophile haters. I'm sure pedophiles have no way to get through all these new government censorship that's being put in place, considering they've had to, trade literally illegal photos between each other for the last 40 years. I'm sure they don't have any way to bypass all this shit. Thank God we solved that pedophile problem, haha. Seeing your post go viral is fucking crazy. It's literally a fucking cone XD. They want the cone experience. I had to choose between a bunch of fundamental shapes. The reason why I thought about that is because I was watching drawing tutorials and they're like, you only need to know your 5 fundamental shapes. Cube. This is a horrible cube. Pyramid. Cone. What are the other? Cylinder. Sphere. I believe. I think that was all of it. And if you can draw these 5 things in 3-dimensional space, you can draw anything, is what my drawing tutorials are telling me. I'm having a real sort of get back to the basics moment watching YouTube drawing tutorials. I actually was like looking at these and I was like, which one of these shapes is the most fuckable? And I was like, you know what? This is probably the most effeminate, although it also looks like a cock. Me and Freud can argue over which one of these shapes is the most fuckable, but I decided it was the cone. Because, you know, it kind of looks like it has a thick waist dumpy down here. And it's also more round than the pyramid. The pyramid is a little sharp on the edges, but the cone feels like, you know, the most feminine of all these. Silk Song Schizos, it's time to coom to bugs. I can no longer make fun of the Silk Song Schizos for never getting their video game, because it seems like it's finally coming out. The 5 fundamentals are real. I don't know why beginners speak it. I mean, if you're just drawing shit normally, you're gonna learn how to draw objects in 3-dimensional space. You don't really... Even if you're skip it, you're still learning it, whether you like it or not. That's the funny part. There isn't any actual way to avoid it, you know? Unless you're just drawing completely on a 2D plane. I've also decided that I have to draw the rough draft like I am right now. Because I'm not actually good enough to just draw it. One-shot that shit. The devs really just said, fuck you, LOL, we don't think about social media at all. I hope their backers at least got emails. What, the Silk Song devs? At what point did they say that? Was it after having no news about it for, like, how long was it in development? Like, 6 years? 5 years? It feels like it was almost a decade. I mean, what's the real white whale at this point? 7 years at this point? Jesus, I can't believe it's actually coming out. I mean, I think I drew an entire comic about this. Not about Silk Song, but... What year was it? No, not that. Game? I drew a Kojima comic. But I can't find it now. Oh, here it is. Fever Dreams of Gamer Fandom in 2020. Star Citizen in its bug-free, perfect alpha version. Chris Roberts, no, that can't be. Star Citizen is a scam. It's complete, guys. Star Citizen is coming out. It's real. And this was before Elden Ring came out. That's right, we were busy integrating Elden Ring into Star Citizen. So Elden Ring came real. Star Citizen is still not real, of course. Fucking George. This George R.R. Martin picture is just absolute chef's kiss. He looks so accurate. So is Miyazaki. Ah, Silent Hills! No! Kojima! Kojima! So this is me and the state of video games in 2020. Elden Ring came out after a really long time, but it felt like a really long time, but it wasn't that long. Star Citizen still in its perpetual, you know, make people pay for shit phase. Silent Hills, we got a Silent Hill 2 remake, but we'll probably never get the Kojima version of it, sadly. It's still jank as fuck, but playable. Let's be honest. Buying your $3,000 ship is the Star Citizen playing experience. It's already fulfilled when you waste a bunch of money. That's the core experience to begin with, so it was already, you know, it's just like the gacha games where wasting your money trying to get the pull for your waifu is the gameplay. It doesn't really matter if there's any extra gameplay after that. You can play the game for $40. $40 10 years ago? Yes. But you can't dab on all the low-income people who bought the game for $40 with your $5,000 ship or whatever. More like $30,000 ship if you do that. You're missing the point. The point is there's all these poor people who play the game, but you've spent a lot of money, so that makes you better. Of course, anybody who's in a poverty chat like this chat probably wouldn't understand. Gacha whaling, but gooning for 3D models of ships. In the future, we'll have gacha, except it will be like actual women. We'll have like clone perfect females made in test tubes, and you'll have to gamble away your life savings to get access to them. Actually, who am I kidding? That would be an actual product that people want. We'll never get something that nice in real life. A much more realistic version would be, instead of just normal gacha, they require you to directly link your bank account to your gacha account, and then instead of letting you roll the gacha yourself, your bank account will start to automatically withdraw money from your bank account every month in a subscription model. And you're like, oh, that's cool. They're just subtracting. In fact, it won't even go to your bank account. You'll have to link like your paycheck to your gacha account, like a payday loan, and it will be directly, your gacha gambling will directly be automatically withdrawn from your paycheck. I figured it out, guys. Hire this man. This is how we achieve higher profit margins. We combine the payday loan industry with the gacha gambling industry. Then you can pay for your gacha before taxes. Sounds kind of nice. And then the government will also they will also tax your gacha. You'll be taxed for your gacha winnings. When you finally get your SS Rare Waifu Summer Skin, you'll have to pay the government 10% tax on her, or else you don't get to use her. I think this will work out for everybody. Gacha pay pigs are stupid enough to, you know, take it into ass, so they'll probably be like, oh, there's nothing I can do. I have to pay Uncle Sam for the opportunity, the privilege to use my waifu in FGO. Gacha, but for emergency services, we already have that. Depending on the city you live in, the ambulance might not show up, or you might the hospital that they take you to might have like full beds and stuff, so they have to take you to like a different hospital, and they'll like drive you around to different locations all night. I feel like every character I draw, I always spend like an hour trying to figure out the optimal navel shape. Nipples are actually easier. The thing about the navel is that like it's the center of the body, so you have to be like, okay, here's the main line of the face, like this, and here's the rib cage, so it comes here. Here's the fat, and it should be like right here. But what's beautiful about the body is these vertical lines, so you have to like properly make it so you can feel the torso. Alright, whatever, that's good enough. Genshin had so many people wailing for fucking weapon banners going over 10k plus, like, bro, Jesus Christ. The gambling gene is strong in the Asians. Chinese person, don't go to midnight mahjong parlor and waste all your money while you smoke cigarettes and drink hard Chinese liquor challenge, difficulty impossible. Gachas are only good for goon material and Umamusume musical chibis. The thing is, you can get the goon material without actually engaging in the gacha. It's really just activating the gambling responses in your brain. People actually just don't give a fuck, they're just going all in. It's just like, activate all dopamine receptors now! Oh, gambling! Oh, cool! Oh, fear of missing out! Oh, let's go! Blah, 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 blah. Video games also engage dopamine, although I'm not sure how much gacha people actually play the video games, but you know. Every day I thank my parents for giving me genes in which I'm not too susceptible to gambling addiction, because it could have gotten really bad in the modern lifestyle. Like, I can't imagine how bad it is for people who have easily addictive personalities. I say this every fucking stream, but I think about it all the time. Like, you just turn on the TV and it's just like, hey guys, FanDuel, casino. Every single fucking day, they're like, hey guys, you want to gamble? Want to gamble, huh? You want to play a video game? Oh, this also has gambling. You want to actually gamble? You can do that too. You want to do sports betting? You can do that too. Everything's on your fucking phone. How about if I actually want to pay money for an object and get that object without some sort of game of chance involved? Oh, sorry. We don't know. I don't know if we can offer that. That's a little too much. Fuck FOMO, LOL, because it does work. It doesn't work on me, thankfully. Again. I'm glad I have the genetics that, you know, I don't have to deal with that shit. I don't give a fuck if I'm missing out on shit. If anything, if you're willing to miss out on stuff, it means you can consume things after the reviews of it come out, so you don't waste time and money on stuff that turns out to be shit. It's a way better lifestyle, if you ask me. One of the few positives of the EU where that shit is regulated, at least in my country. Literally communism. Big government preventing my Overwatch loot boxes. If I can't own 15 assault rifles and also waste my money on video game gambling shit, how can I be truly free, guys? Hey, yeah, brother. K-Kona clap. I haven't bought a game less than a year after release since Fallout 4. I wonder what about Fallout 4 could possibly convince you to not buy games at release. Hashtag Todd. Hashtag buy Skyrim again. I hope you have not ignored your duty to buy the Oblivion remaster release that happened, guys. We wouldn't want to have to send Bethesda shock troopers to your house and swipe your card for you. Gambling is fine, but it can be ass blasted into your face 24/7 with ads. I mean, there's no point in like having gambling be illegal because people are going to do it. The degenerates are definitely going to engage in it one way or the other, just like prostitution and drugs and shit. But it's another being like, hey guys, want to use some heroin? Oh man, wouldn't it be great to have some heroin right now? I sure love having a shit ton of fucking coke in my face. Delicious. Every single day. Guys, it's no big deal. It's just, you know, sports betting. What's the worst that can happen besides losing all your fucking money? I actually learned recently that sports betting wasn't consistently profitable for the companies, which is why they all have like these secondary gambling, online gambling casinos attached to the sports betting apps like FanDuel. I thought that they, the bet makers in sports gambling were smart enough that they would have like ways in which they would consistently win, but apparently that's not the case. So for these online things like FanDuel and shit to always be making money, they have to get you to like be gambling on like online slots and stuff apparently, where they can control some of the percentages. But apparently sports gambling is too real world for them to actually always have control over everything. I didn't know that, but so that's good news for, you know, you degenerate gamblers. You can beat the house in some cases apparently. Although most of the time you probably won't. You're all ready to buy MGS Delta on launch, Pepe laugh. I actually saw some of these screenshots and I was like, nope. The thing is, Metal Gear Solid 3 in its current form is just as good a game as it was, you know, however many years ago. What was it, like 20 years ago? Jesus Christ, I don't even know. Uh, 2004. It was literally fucking 20 years ago. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh no, bros. I think I might be getting a little bit old. You an armpit artist now? No, but these are armpit characters. sometimes you have to stand up and do what's right, even if it's not what's popular. And in this case, what's right is drawing these characters in poses in which they're showing their armpits to the viewer. It's what's required of me as a man, as a human being. Armpits are in. More like my dick is in the armpits, if you know what I mean. By that I mean I would put my penis in the armpit area of these female characters. No matter how bad everything else gets, I live to see Bethesda collapse under the weight of Todd's lies. The thing is, when it actually does collapse, it won't be because Todd lied about being able to do everything like he did so many times. If normies just could get Skyrim 4 or something, they'd probably still be satisfied. The shocking thing is that Bethesda can't even make Skyrim again at this point, and Skyrim was nowhere close to being a good video game. It was just a video game that had a lot of stuff you could do and wander around in, and had some nice atmosphere, and it was moddable. But they can't even do that anymore, right? Did you finish the backgrounds? I have one, the most difficult background left. But I finished all the other panels. So we're almost done. I'll be grinding that one tonight. You can't fucking armpit, that's illegal. You most definitely can. It's probably one of the more easily fucked body parts, considering she can just close her armpit around your dick. Compared to some of the other things that people have tried to fuck, armpits are pretty much a vagina at this point. There is no talent in Bethesda. There's no talent in a lot of studios at this point. I don't know if it was because of the DEI hiring practices, or this is just the natural evolution of corporations trying to cut costs all the time and all that stuff, but we really have reached a point where it just feels like it's not that companies aren't just not trying to make good video games. It feels like they can't make video games at this point. Western companies, at least. Japanese companies might be a little better off, unless we're talking about Square Enix, which is not better off at all. It's not DEI, it's always been bad. Maybe. I feel like general competence, I think we should differentiate between ability to program stuff, ability to create I don't know, baseline level content, and then ability to create memorable stuff. I think there's still lots of people who can create mediocre things that anybody can create. But there's very few people who have like a broader vision on how the game should play, especially among Western video game developers at this point. Like, they're all just sort of painting by the numbers, I feel. Like, I didn't play Starfield, right? And Starfield has a lot of problems. But, like, who the fuck thought that whatever, like, art design and shit they had... Who the fuck thought that making a giant sci-fi fantasy video game without a single alien race in it, and it's just about humans inhabiting, like, different, completely empty moons and shit was a good idea. Like, just from the most basic conception stages, it seems like boring as fuck, if you ask me. Like, nobody was there to just, like, pump the brakes and be like, this idea fucking sucks, right? So what the hell is going on? Never play Starfield, save your money, never buy it. Starfield was so boring, I couldn't even watch Starfield streams for more than like 5 seconds. I can't even watch a fucking Starfield speedrun. Even people who are trying to squeeze like the few moments of silliness out of Starfield, they can't even do that. It's so bland. Like, I don't think, there's lots of bad video games because, like, they couldn't figure out how to make it work and shit, but there's very few games that are just, like, bland. Like, it's just a flavorless piece of cardboard or some shit. Like, I don't know how you get there. I hate DEI, but it isn't the root cause. It does feel like there's just massive brain drain, though. And DEI might be slightly involved in that, but, like, if you know how to make video games, if you're part of the old crew that you probably already quit making video games and, you know, you went somewhere else, or you're just making your indie to begin with. Like, why would you work in AAA games when if you actually have, like, a good vision for your game, when, like, if you make a slightly popular indie game, you're a fucking millionaire. Why can't I make things anymore? I struggle to make even a bad game, let alone a good one. I mean, there's a lot of video games I played recently that I wouldn't classify as bad games. Like Diablo 4. It's not a bad game like the bad games I grew up with in the 90s where the camera was all over the place and, like, it would fucking crash all the time. And you couldn't find the door to get to the next area, and some of the graphics looks like shit, all that stuff. Diablo 4 has great art design, you know, it has solid music, it has a lot of things going for it, and yet it sort of feels the same as Starfield, although not as bad. It's just like there wasn't someone there to replay the gameplay they had created a million times and try and figure out what parts of the gameplay were fun and what parts of the gameplay weren't fun and be like, okay, we need to change this isn't fun. You know, like, there wasn't... I heard that, like, in the 90s, the Mega Man director... There was, like, a manga I read as a child growing up, and it was about, like, the creation of Mega Man. And it was, like, some person comes to the office and they're like, what's that guy? It's like, oh, he's the director. He's like, why isn't he doing anything? He's like, he's doing his job. His job is to play the game again and again and again and try and figure out what's fun and what isn't fun. That's his fucking job. And I feel like nobody is actually doing that in game development anymore. Marvel, Disney, DEI, LOL. I mean, that stuff is just bad at this point. But, you know, there's just so much stuff where it's like... They have like a blueprint on what makes something that's good. And then they're just following the blueprint because they don't have any original ideas on what is good, what they think is good. And there's so much shit like that. Like, everybody in Hollywood has read Save the Cat at this point. Like, if I look up Save the Cat screenwriting concepts, like, it's all like this shit, right? B story, Save the Cat, opening image, setup, catalyst, debate, promise of the premise, break into Act 2, midpoint, bad guys close in, dark night of the soul, all is lost, break into Act 3, final image. And like, if you go through it, it's like, oh, cool. It's every fucking Marvel movie ever. And you know, it's fine to have some kind of template for people that, you know, they need some guide, but like, everybody has read the same fucking template. And everybody's gonna follow the same fucking template, and they're gonna hope that that's good enough. And it is good enough to create something mediocre. Anime is hard carrying. Again, what is anime based off of? It's based off of manga, and it's based off of novels. And often these novels are written by incredibly untalented Japanese individuals who are posting shit on the isekai website. But because it's just completely untrained individuals, it has some weird shit going on here and there, which is actually better than whatever bland stuff, even if it gives you a million fucking horrible isekai clones. Anime is becoming mainstream and slated for the same influences in the West. Pepe laugh. I mean, I hope anime isn't ruined. I've been watching a little bit of Panty and Stalking. Feels good, man. Every time the Japanese voice actors in Panty and Stalking say, fuck, shit, it, a little bit of my soul feels cleansed and revitalized. Fucking motherfucker. When they had the Fast and the Furious parody and Dawn and what's his name went their separate ways in their two different cars, and it was two separate sperms going into each of the ovaries, I stood up and clapped in the theater because it was such a brilliant way to end such a touching scene about the actual death of Paul Walker and turning him into a fucking sperm. I was like, wow, this is the most awful lowbrow content a human being could think of. I stand up and applaud for this trigger. You really outdid yourself on this one. Did that actually happen? Yes, it did. You're the applause dork at the local theater. That was a joke, Death Striker. They're not showing semen version of Paul Walker in the local theater, okay? Woman alert, yeah. Somebody forgot to close the door to this special tree house. This is the image of the internet right here. Put a fucking line down the treehouse. And then don't speak to the woman. Except we're all failing at the whole don't speak to each other part. Because instead everybody has to yell across the line at each other using Twitter. Also, I can't get over the fact that the Berenstein Bears were the Berenstain Bears. Possibly the most powerful of all the Mandela effects of all time. It's just such a weird-ass fucking spelling. No wonder everybody thought it was the Berenstein Bears. It's a fucking stain. Death replaced Hystrixia? Yes, but they both existed in the same room for some amount of time, so the theories that they're actually the same person, like Clark Kent and Superman, don't add up. We've been surrounded by Euros this entire time. Yeah. This is primarily a Euro stream, is what I'm finding out. But there's nothing we can do about it, unfortunately. They're too powerful. Also, I heard that Twitch was deleting bots now, but my viewership doesn't seem to have changed at all. Sadly. I was hoping you were all bots. A couple of streamers went down like 30% in viewership. Yeah, I like how like Asmongold was like, "Oh my god, I lost so many viewers. I can't believe I had been getting botted so hard. Wow, I'm so glad that Twitch has deleted all these bots." It's like, come on, you guys. You were fucking doing this yourself. Stop pretending like you weren't doing this yourself. Are you fucking kidding me? Such bullshit. Oh my god. Everyone who's like, "Oh wow, I'm just an innocent person. I can't believe all these bots were infesting my stream. Why were they doing that?" Like, give me a fucking break, man. Come on. Like, who would be botting your stream besides yourself? And how would it benefit them besides you? Like, what's the point of a bot? Unless it's, like, literally they're asking for, like, hey, you can, you know, farm gold or something in WoW or some shit like that. You're view botting yourself, you stupid fucking insincere motherfuckers. Jesus Christ. Hassan botters? I thought Hassan was banned. Not that I care. I've never seen a Hassan stream. I've never seen a Shroud stream. I've never seen a Forsen stream. I started watching PewDiePie after he moved to Japan and started posting his home videos of him living the ideal weeaboo life. But I've never watched him when he was, you know, actually playing video games. Hassan getting banned will never happen. Wasn't he at least suspended for saying cracker or something? Oh, please don't suspend me, Twitch. I meant cracker in a purely non-racial way, like a saltine cracker. I hope I have not offended any white people in this stream by saying that extremely offensive word, which is definitely comparable to other racial slurs in history, such as Oh, I shouldn't say those words either, I guess. Yes, for less than a day on his off day, LMAO. Okay, they were just making a point, I guess, that you're not supposed to say racial slurs, but they don't actually care. He's like far left, right? I assume that, you know, they're not gonna ban a far left streamer. Although I don't know what counts as far left at this point in this country. BB redesigns the Cracker Barrel logo. What the fuck? I feel like the Cracker Barrel redesign was like the ultimate version of the, like, everybody looks at the new logos and they're all like super flat and made for phones, and everyone was like, I fucking hate this new logo. Like, you know, people have been complaining about that for the new logos in the 2020s for like last 10 years or so, and like the Cracker Barrel logo is like the ultimate version of that. Like, nobody wanted that fucking redesign, and yet I swear to God, the marketing department of every single company is completely worthless. They have no fucking idea what they're doing, and yet they still get like huge paychecks. They have zero fucking idea what they're doing at any time, but they still have to justify their existence. So they're like, hey guys, what if we just redesigned our logo? Surely that will get people to go to Cracker Barrel, right? A new fucking logo? He's crazy left, but at least he's not Destiny. I've also heard about this Destiny person, but I have never actually seen them in person. I feel like what we consider to be crazy left is a little underwhelming, considering what we consider to be crazy right on Twitch was people literally invading the Capitol with the other January 6 rioters screaming about how they should want to hang Mike Pence and shit. So, yeah, I feel like the standards are a little different here. One is probably some guy being like, guys, we should all have basic income. And then the other person is like stomping on police people's heads and shit, so. They won't be satisfied until every design is that corpo minimalist comic style, that ugly ass characters. For those of you in Europe that don't know what we're talking about, Cracker Barrel is like this shitty ass country style restaurant that you see a lot of ads for, but there's none in my area, so I've never actually eaten there. And, but they'd always had this memorable fucking logo. Where they had like this, I don't know, this probably like Ku Klux Klan member guy sitting on the porch with a barrel. You don't see the shotgun that he uses to shoot at black people with. But, yeah, and there's this weird fucking shape that looks kind of like a bean. And they're like, old country store, sir. And then they're like, oh, you know what we should do? We should design it to be this fucking nothing burger right here. The thing is, they didn't even, like, make it like complete minimalist. They still have the same text, kind of, but then they just get rid of everything, so it's just like nothing. I mean, this has the same flavor as Starfield, basically. It's, I swear, man, these fucking marketing and design departments, they're just desperate to try and justify their existence. Guys, changing your shitty fucking logo isn't gonna suddenly get the 18 to 34 young people demographic to show up and start being like, whoa, this is just like Chipotle. Hey, at least they're in the news. Did they change it back? I assume they're going to change it back, considering literally every human being on the planet started shitting on it. The only way to improve the Cracker Barrel logo was to put Sydney Sweeney in the American flag bikini. I don't even know who Sydney Sweeney is. Why is everyone talking about Sydney Sweeney right now? I've seen like Sydney Sweeney mentioned in half the things I read online, and I haven't bothered looking it up who it is. Is Sydney Sweeney hot, guys? Am I missing out on something? Should I be image prompting Sydney Sweeney AI porn right now? No one knows who she is. Some meme whore. She has some nice boobs. Every month or so, people find a new person to talk about until they get tired. It do be like that, doesn't it? She's some model or singer or something. What are you guys talking about? Alright, see, now we have to look up fucking Sydney Sweeney. They made her show her boobs a lot. Well, at least someone is doing the duty. She's doing the needful. If I put in Sid, she's the first person who shows up. At least. Well, I like how she kind of looks like she's on drugs in all of her images. Oh, I see. She has boobs. Kind of. It's kind of hard to tell at this point. This is the image that shows the maximum amount of cleavage that I can find. She also released a soap that has a hole in it for wanking. I don't need that, Sydney. I can open my own holes in my own soap. I don't know. She has a good face for being in a role of like random Russian prostitute in action movie, especially this shot. She reminds me of like the random Russian prostitute in action movie who is like, I am trying to get my daughter away from this evil Russian mobster. And then the action star is like, don't worry, I'll protect you. But then she gets, you know, murdered halfway through and they find her lifeless body on the bed. And Liam Neeson is like, I will avenge your death. That's the kind of vibes I get from her. She made an ad for her jeans brand and made a joke about her jeans being good, and people construed that as some white supremacy thing. Wow, I'm sure all the black men were very offended about a white woman making jokes about how she should be impregnated. Because if there's one thing that people care about, it's, you know, talking about eugenics in 2025. I don't fucking know what this shit is, man. This is just ridiculous. The fact that the left is still getting angry over, you know, different words that people use in their stupid fucking gene commercials instead of worrying about the fact that Trump is trying to become a president for life right now in front of our eyes, and he's probably going to start restricting voting soon. Needs all you need to tell about the Republican and Democratic parties in America at this point. It's like nobody's paying attention. President for life? He's going to try. It's probably going to come down to how much people are going to let him get away with, but as a leftist in leftist spaces, sadly people are actually talking about this. As someone who went to a fucking leftist liberal arts college, the left has been preoccupied with stupid fucking shit like this since I was in college, which was like before Obama got elected, so it doesn't surprise me at all, but you'd think they'd have learned something at this point, but I guess not. Isn't Trump rumored to be sick, as in won't see the end of his term sick? I didn't say that he was going to make it to a third or fourth term. I'm just saying he's trying. I mean, he's certainly old enough and he has a poor enough diet to be pretty sick. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he died in office. But I'm pretty sure he is trying to rig the voting right now. They're starting the process of trying to set up voting rigging right now because he's floating trial balloons about how automated voting machines and mail-in ballots are, you know, they're all liberal rigged technology. So all he would have to do is be like, oh, liberal technology was used in these voting districts, and then they would just have to change the votes in like 4 or 5 different districts, and that would be enough to guarantee the presidency for Republicans going forward, because there's very, very few swing districts in America. So it's actually very easy to rig elections if you actually want to. All the paintings of him being patted on the shoulder by Jesus show him so ripped. The nanomachines will prevent him from ever truly dying. That's what all the tech bros are desperately trying to do right now, but did you hear about the tech bro? I might have already talked about this, but there was a tech bro who had a sensory deprivation tank, which I guess is just like a water tank full of salt water that's like the same temperature as your body temperature, so you sort of float in it so you don't feel anything, and something malfunctioned and he died in it. And I was just like, that's the most fucking tech bro thing to happen right there. I assume that the one tech bro guy who's like 50 or whatever and he's injecting blood from his son into his body or something so he can live forever will also die in a similar way. Jorking the penis, Vance can't take over as president. He is too weak to the allure of a couch. I mean, we haven't had a vice president as president. Oh, well, I guess we had fucking Biden, but I think Biden actually proves what I'm trying to say right now. Is vice presidents, they don't actually have very strong appeal. The only reason Biden got elected was because Obama was super hyper charismatic. So, I mean, you might get one term of Vance, but I doubt it. Like, I think Obama is so much more popular than Trump ever was, so... How does the tank malfunction? I mean, any amount of things can go wrong if you're just floating around in a fucking tank full of water. As someone who is a lifeguard, I'd just like to point out that, like, pools are super dangerous and deadly. Any kind of environment where you can't breathe if something goes wrong leads to immediate death pretty quickly, you know? Drowning deaths are, like, the second or third highest causes of death in accidents in America, so... You do not want to fuck with that stuff. Honestly, if you really wanted to be safe, you probably shouldn't go anywhere near bodies of water in general. They've become a meme, but I think the idea is that for people with audio sensory issue, it could be calming. As someone who has audio sensory issue, I think we should just turn off the lights in our house and put in earplugs and make it so nobody can call us on our phones instead of getting into like a fucking water tank. They didn't find him until like a few days later and he was just sort of floating in it or some shit, so... Being shut into a dark clamshell full of water is very Final Destination. It's kind of like the opposite of like what happens to anti-demon ninjas in huge wombs full of tentacles and stuff, where they're shut in a giant like cocoon of non-sensory deprivation. It's like the tech bro version of becoming a breeding sow seed bed. Perhaps I have consumed too much hentai if that's the first thing I think, but that is sort of the first thing that comes to my mind. You're just getting put in like this fucking tank. I just want to try one. I don't know, man. I don't want to do anything in which tech bros are recommending me that I do it. Like if Elon came out with his what do you call it? The Neuralink. Who would actually try that shit? I know I wouldn't. There is no situation in which I ever put a Neuralink in my body. Are the time I need having fun? Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, it's kind of like the question is like, is someone who's like incredibly doped up on heroin, is that person having fun? They've kind of lost all of their functionality as a human being, but they're experiencing like intense pleasure that they wouldn't be able to experience as a normal person. If you ask any recovering heroin addict, like, if you knew the world was going to end tomorrow, it's like, what would you do? They'd be like, yeah, I've been sober. I haven't used drugs in, 30 years, but I'd shoot heroin again. I'm like, damn. I guess that whole heroin thing is pretty addictive, huh? So I assume that the whole tentacle stuff is a similar level of enjoyment. I trust Peter Thiel as far as I can throw his roid bloated body. Peter Thiel body. Swimsuit. Can't tell which one is which. The Guardian. The Immortals. Meet the billionaires forking out for eternal life. A fascinating and often terrifying new podcast delves into the lengths longevity superstars will go to make 90 the new 50, from swapping blood with the young to designing the first post-humans. God, I wish there was a way in which I could bet on these people dying at 86 like a normal human being. Because I'm pretty fucking sure they will. He has that shit cleared off the internet for good measure? What, you're saying I can't find his roided body images on Google image search, but I can find Elon's body easily. Maybe he doesn't want any new images of him online because it will be obvious that, he is in fact getting older, shockingly. That would be awfully depressing for someone such as him who is trying to reach immortality. LMAO. It really is like the more things change, the more they say the same. They're literally doing the same shit that the first Emperor of China was doing. First Emperor of China, if you don't know, got obsessed about becoming immortal later in life because he was like, oh, I'm so powerful, I became the first Emperor of China, why should I have to die? And he ended up cutting his life short because he started testing special magical elixirs and shit in the form of drinking like mercury and stuff. They found some mercury and they're like, oh, look at this cool ass metal. I mean, I can understand why people would think that mercury was a powerful elixir in like 3,000 years BC or whatever. That shit looks magical as fuck. It's like fucking liquid metal. You'd be like, damn, if I drink this shit, it will most definitely give me superpowers, right? No, it just kills you. Just kills you. Shocking. How can this be, fellow hermit bros? I thought that drinking this weird metal liquid would make me immortal. Elon wanted to be in the public eye. So what this tells us is that Elon probably thought that he looked hot, even though he looks incredibly bloated and awful. Crazy. Mercury with rhino toenail. Delicious. I will be strong like tiger because I drink powdered tiger penis. Western medicine could never understand. What's important about this character design is that even though her skirt is already as incredibly short as it could possibly be without showing her panties, she still has an extra slit on the side to further the maximum amount of elf leg we can see. This is very important. His mom and his harem of mayonnaise sister wives told him he looked hot, okay? Are they actually sister wives? Because that would be cool. I'm guessing not. What artist is that? Holy shit, the line weight. That is Nishimura Kinu, if you guys want to look her up. She's one of the more famous Capcom artists. She is known for being incredibly horny at all times. She's the person who was asked to design a fantasy video game for the double screen. And they were like, what kind of main character should we have? Holy shit, they're fucking censoring it. Oh my god. I'm looking up images and they're not showing the original artwork. What the fuck is going on with the internet now? Is this because it's Pinterest? That's crazy. What the fuck is happening to the internet? Trying to find the original artwork of this. and they're the Code of Princess. They're not actually showing. Did they like? So they made a whole like EX cover and they covered up the fucking bikini. What the fuck is going on? The whole point of Code of Princess is that you're getting Giga Bikini armor. Man, the internet is getting crazy right now. Well, not right now. We're actually on the swing back, actually, what's happening. The censoring of Code of Princess probably happened a few years ago, so... Because we're on the swing back, I have a feeling that instead we're going to have, like, maybe overdoing sex from a lot of people. This is usually what happens when shit seesaws back and forth. Overcorrecting the lack of horny, yeah. I guess the question is what will happen for Western video games, because I know Capcom is already overcorrecting the lack of horny. If you look at all their newly released Street Fighter swimsuits, every single one of the new Street Fighter 6 swimsuits that they released had a super high cut thong in the back. You can tell the Capcom character designers were being told up until this point, like, if you're gonna have a swimsuit, it can't be too high cut. And now their management was like, okay, you're allowed to go back to your business as usual, and they're like, let's go. Of course, I assume that most people here probably play their video games on PC, in which case you already have the modding. Gemma's swimsuit actually covers up more than her regular outfit. Does it? I'm a pretty strong tank top enjoyer, so Monster Hunter Gemma swimsuit. Oh, that's right. I have safe search on. That must be why. That I'm not getting the fucking bikini. No, it's not showing up. This must be because I'm using WaterFox, which has a pretty shitty image search engine, I'm learning. I was trying to find a good search engine for using Twitch that won't give me ads, and it's actually been very difficult. But WaterFox has been decent. Eh. I mean, it's pretty low cut. You compare that to her usual. I mean, you don't see a lot of the side boob that you get in the swimsuit, I guess. I just think that tank tops are very powerful because they tend to squish the boobs together and upward, so they give you a lot of extra cleavage. I'm getting a gaming PC for uni. Currently, I'm still a console pleb. I mean, if you have a PS5, I don't think you really need a gaming PC. We've really reached the point in our gaming culture where there really isn't much benefits to having a variety of different gaming options, unless the Switch. I feel like they're all basically giving you the same experience. Now, when I was your age, you could really get left out depending on the different console exclusives and stuff if you didn't have a variety of gaming consoles, but that clearly isn't the situation anymore. I need a gaming PC for my uni courses. Going into 3D, he must use his gaming PC to generate 10,000 AI images of Monster Hunter porn. It's required for his courses. Just do the modeling on your cell phone, and instead of using 10 million triangles to model Lara Croft, model her with like 5 triangles, so she just looks like this. The sexiest version. Whoa, Lara. You're so sexy. Think how many frames you could run this thing. I do kind of miss low poly models, actually. It's weird how you would feel that, but like the extra amount of stylization they had to do meant that there was some sort of room for artist interpretation. I mean, it's kind of like going back to the whole Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta discussion that we started off with, but I'm just looking at some of the screenshots and I was like, nope, it ain't it. Konami.
Why'd you defect?
I didn't. I'm loyal to the end, to my purpose.
It just looks really weird.
Snake, I know how you're feeling. It's hard for me to believe, too, that a legendary hero like the boss would go over to the Russians. She'd double-cross us like this.
We will use the legacy to heal that rift and make the world whole again. To do this, we need strength, an unstoppable trump card with enough power to bring order to the world.
Do you love her?
Like, every single shot just feels... It feels like a fan-made game, is how I feel like it.
And you think you can kill her now?
Hey, don't you go getting any funny ideas.
We can't leave yet. I've still got one last job to do.
She's at the lake. She's waiting for you there.
We were together for 10 years, and now you tell me she's my enemy.
What about you, Jack? What's it going to be? Loyalty to your country or loyalty to me? Your country or your old mentor? The mission or your beliefs? Your duty to your unit?
Do they not have the Snake Eater theme in
You don't know
this?
the truth yet.
It
But
feels
sooner or
weird
later
that they
you'll have
don't,
to choose.
you know, play it at
I
all.
don't expect you to forgive me.
You've got to do it, Snake. She's your enemy and your
Huh.
objective.
Wow, that looks really bad, honestly, right
You're
there.
a soldier. Finish your mission. Prove your loyalty.
Yeah, I will definitely not be playing this. I won't be buying it, I won't be playing
The
it.
growth and the finality of today.
Yep. Definitely not gonna be touching that shit. Maybe it's the palette? I don't know, man. It just doesn't look right. Looks like Metal Gear Solid in the Resident Evil engine, but it's not because it's not Capcom, of course. It's Konami, and I don't know. I guess it's Unreal 5, right? I don't know. It just feels... It feels wrong! I don't know if it's the people creating the trailer. Oh, they do have the Snake Eater theme for Metal Gear Solid Delta. It's already up. No, opening movie? Wait. Okay, so they did get the fucking theme at least, but... Eh. Yeah, not looking very good, guys. There's no style to it. It's just... Like, why would we assume that we would get something good out of a video game company that can't make a new Metal Gear game and instead is just going to make a remake of an old game, right? Doesn't that tell you all you need to know? If you don't have the skill to make a new Metal Gear game, you probably don't have the skill to do a reinterpretation of an old game that's one of the best games of all time. It's literally rely on the realistic look to sell. The thing is that Snake Eater is still a perfectly good video game in 2025. It's not like it was, like, you know, on the Super Nintendo and dot graphics and stuff like that. Kojimbo can't make games, but he makes the best movies, which is something that I don't think Konami can make. Only thing Konami been is banking on is nostalgia with their collections. Yeah, they haven't made a new game in... Wait, have they made... no, I don't think so. I can't really think of... All they make is like pachinko now, so... Oh yeah, they had a new Silent Hill. Yu-Gi-Oh! Prints money for them. Card games are truly, card games and pachinko. If you have card games and pachinko, you don't ever have to actually make anything again. You just need to print more cards. TCG player is truly the foulest of all nerds, both in terms of their spending habits and their personal hygiene. But Did you guys not know? But pachinko is losing popularity in Japan right now. There was some sort of government law that forced pachinko companies to fuck with the win rates. So now they're just sort of squeezing money out of a dying population. And there's like, even before the whole problem of like Japanese population aging and younger people not gambling away all their life savings and stuff, even without that shit, people aren't playing pachinko as much as they used to back in the day. And a lot of pachinko parlors are going out of business, which means that Konami won't be able to rely on pachinko forever for their money as well. Well, that's probably why they're getting back into the video game business. Young ones don't go for pachinko, they go for gacha. Young people in Japan don't drink, they don't smoke, they don't waste hours a day fucking sitting in front of a machine gambling away their paychecks. Is the pachinko decline the same as the light beer industry here? Yeah, there's also a beer industry decline in Japan as well. It's just young people don't drink as much. They don't engage in the traditional vices that these companies assumed would just be immortal and would give them money forever. And the younger generation is like, wait, what if I don't want to drink myself to death? And the company is like, no, you must. You must own a car, you must drink too much alcohol and smoke cigarettes, you must gamble away your paychecks, and if you're not a proper adult. And then the younger generation is like, I'm good. I'm okay with not being a proper adult. I think I just won't engage in all the things that you have been selling older generations. And they're like, no, you can't do that. You're destroying Japan, you sick fucks. How could you do that? You must consume! Consume now! Think of the children! Instead they get in line for Chiikawa plush. They either get in line or they buy it off Mercari after Chinese scalpers fight each other to get the Chiikawa plush. Or they can win their Chiikawa plush by playing the crane game. So Japanese arcades were about to die, and then they were just like, instead of having a bunch of machines with Street Fighter, we're just gonna have like a million crane games, and then they recovered. So apparently Japanese arcades are doing okay, they're just full of people using crane games to pick up shitty stuffed animals. You know, there's just like a million Death Strikers out there being like, I must win the Chiikawa plushie for my street cred. Las Vegas shouldn't exist in the first place, LMAO. I think it's fucking hilarious that people are gonna be like, no, why is Las Vegas, we don't have enough air conditioning, we're gonna die. At least that's what I hope happens, is that just everybody dies in the desert because it's too fucking hot to exist. I think that would be cool. I don't think unnatural locations like fucking Las Vegas should exist. I did in fact play a lot of crane games or make men play them for me. Omega Mart was so much fun. Yes. Nothing is more gullible than a man being asked by a woman to waste 1,000 yen trying to get a stupid plushie. And the guy will be like, oh, I can definitely get that thing for you, that Venom Bussy stuffed animal. And they'll be like, wow, you're so good. Yatta, arigato, kya. And he's like, hehe, nante koto nai yo, Hanako-chan. I must show off my manly skills by collecting this stuffed animal for her. And then you waste 5,000 yen. And she's like, let me go talk to the arcade employee and ask them to change the position of the stuffed animal so it's easier for you to get it, which apparently is a thing you can do. If you've already wasted like a shit ton of money and you're still determined to get it, and it's obvious that you're not going to quit until you actually get the thing. Apparently the Japanese arcades have like a pity system, and if you're okay with being a pathetic little bitch, you can go and cry to them and be like, please, mommy arcade employee, please readjust the position of the Chikawa plushie so I can collect it for my girlfriend. And they'll be like, of course, sir. The employee will walk over and switch the position after a few losses. In some cases, the employee will just give you the item. The employee knows that the stuffed animal cost 5 cents to make because it's being made by Cambodian slave labor, and they spent like 10 cents to buy it. So after you've already wasted 1,000 or 2,000 yen on it, they've already got like 10 times the profit. So they're doing just fine. They want you to go home happy, so you come again. Once they've secured their 5,000% profits, it's already mission accomplished. Of course, if my boyfriend ever asked the arcade employee for help, I would leave him on the spot. I will only ever date Giga Chads who are capable of lifting up the entire crane machine and shaking it upside down to get all the stuffed animals. Hashtag just Giga Chad things. I heard that was the case for round 1. Yeah, I hear that round 1 is showing up in America. As someone who has no girlfriend to impress, it doesn't matter to me, but I also don't like bowling either. Who am I kidding? I don't like doing anything in the real world. The experience of playing crane games and the Yakuza games has shown I will not play those things. Yes. They are built to take all of your money, of course. As these things tend to be. I've been playing so much DDR Star Max and all the Japanese rhythm games. They didn't bother translating the Japanese rhythm games, so I get them all to myself. I assume they have enough Asians in general that know everything in the DDR machines in the first place, so they don't have to translate them. There's always like Chinese college students that show up and can, you know, triple A rank the hardest songs or whatever the fuck. Do they have like the non-DDR song games? Like there's so many non-DDR otoge music games in Japanese arcades that I haven't even heard of. And they all have like these different little gimmicks. Like you're spinning different switches or waving your arms in different ways. All this weird ass shit, you know? I think the true Chad rhythm game is Taiko no Tatsujin. It's one of those things where it's just like, bro, if you can do that with the fucking drum arcade game, you can probably do that with an actual drum. Why are you dealing with this thing? They didn't have Taiko Drum Master. Have you seen like high level Taiko shit? It's like absolutely like, what the fuck? This is one video that they kept on recommending me, but it's just like this, some Asian guy goes to another location in Taiwan, but as they're showing with the arrows, he's the guy who actually, he was designing some of the songs, but they have like this competitive Taiko no Tatsujin setup in Taiwan. And you can do like versus mode. Of course, every single one of these people is Chigyu nerds. And they all have their own drumsticks, apparently. Like they own their own drumsticks. Not a single vagina in this area. Who said that being good at music... He has 2 misses, I think. Oh, that's not even a miss. Oh, this is Idol Master. Dunk, 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 dunk. Owning your own drumsticks, the equivalent of bringing a gallon of water to play DDR. Hey man, you gotta stay hydrated. Two women spotted. It's so weird how if you can play an actual instrument, you're theoretically supposed to be drowning in pussy, but if you can play the video game instrument, women are like, this man is disgusting. He's as bad as though that Yu-Gi-Oh nerds, get him away from me. What is the difference? Can you imagine Dojo Yaburi with Taiko no Tatsujin? Hey man, the arcades in the 90s were a big deal. If you went to an arcade in the 90s and started playing Street Fighter 2 against a local champion and started like throw looping him, it would often result in you like getting in an actual fight. Diego Ume Juarez, the greatest of all fighting game players, talked about how he literally got beat up by a guy because he was beat the shit out of him in Street Fighter. So the guy was like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you in real life. The arcades were, they were a rough place back in the day. Zoomers could never understand. Now look up a DDR vid. I mean, DDR makes you look way more stupid than Taiko no Tatsujin, that's for sure. Beethoven virus DDR level Asian. Let's go! Again, it doesn't matter how much athletic shit you have to do, the person doing it has to be like a lanky guy with a shitty haircut and glasses. It's just Chigyu land. Oh, I get it. He's doing 2 people's worth of steps. Now, this is just like real-life dancing, isn't it, guys? See 5 women there? They're all dripping wet right now. You see the local Chigyu doing his Chigyu mating dance. Holy shit. Look at him go. Hey, what's up? He has really long legs, so that's probably helpful. I'm sure this is China instead of Japan. Or maybe it's like Thailand, looking at the letters in the back. Why we're watching Dude Playing Dance Revolution, we were all talking about how being good at rhythm games does not get you any pussy. However, that might be different for DDR. DDR has a lot more women. I always see women doing Star Max videos. I mean, DDR is the classic, right? There was always like DDR, female DDR players, even back in the day, I think. If you want the truly sex-segregated male nerd experience, you have to go to card games and stuff. You have to go to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Experience. This is very important. Also, you have to make sure you don't shower so women can't enter the building. This will keep them away. Well, maybe you'd have more women playing card games if you all didn't stink so bad. It's on purpose, don't you see? It's by design. We must keep the women out of our clubhouse. Although I'm sure there are female events that have similar levels of odor, like Fujoshi Dojinshi selling festivals and stuff. I'm part of the Gunpla group at the card shop near me, and sometimes we have to evacuate. What is it with card games, right? Like, how can you be like that when even the fellow nerds are like, these guys are too much? Like, even the more hated nerd demographics, like the train nerds, don't have the issue of just not showering, period. It's only the only people who can fight the card game, the TCG players, are the Smash players. It's those two demographics. It makes no sense why they're just like, yeah, we're just not going to shower going forward. This is just our solemn vow. I went to Evo one year and considered putting on one of those tree air fresheners under my nose. I bet it's cleaned up a lot since then, because it's all like corporate now. I mean, how bad can modern Evo smell if it's being run by Sony and Pokemon? Right. It can't be that bad, he said, not knowing how bad it could possibly be. He was so wrong. Last year, someone pissed on an Evo chair. That's what it means to be a true competitor. Never sit up. Never stand up until the fight is done. If you have to piss your pants, that's part of it. People getting so high at Evo since Nevada legalized weed that they're pissing themselves. Is that a thing that happens if you smoke enough powerful weed, is that you just piss yourself? Because I remember reading a Japanese manga where like it was just about a bunch of teenagers doing all the shit that Japanese society doesn't want them to do. And they were smoking weed. And like one of the girls pissed herself. And I was like, ha! Japanese people don't know shit about weed. You don't piss yourself from smoking too much weed. But then I remembered that I also don't know anything about weed because I don't use weed. So I was like, maybe you do piss yourself. I don't fucking know. I just always assume that when Japan writes anything about weed, they don't know what they're talking about because, you know, it's Japan and nobody ever actually smokes weed in Japan. Real nerds shit inside a paper bag in front of the Fortnite stand at Gamescom. You gotta mark your territory. You must notify all the other males in the area that this is your area. That all the Fortnite babes belong to you. It was more because if you leave your seat, you lose your seat situation at Evo. Not gonna lie, as you start to get old, it becomes way easier to piss yourself. Especially because I'm like lying back in the chair, and that's like a situation in which I don't apply any pressure to my bladder. So then I sometimes like stand up and I'm like, holy shit, I'm like scrunching my body when I stand up. So I'm suddenly applying pressure to my bladder and I think I'm gonna piss myself. I haven't really pissed myself yet, but I'm always worried. This is part of the joys of getting older. You're just like, oh no. It's time to just urinate all over myself now. Feels good, man. I have no doubt, based on the size of the event, that people are still shitbagging. I mean, as long as it's a plastic bag, am I right, guys? I mean, at least if you're a female, doesn't that mean that there's gonna be like empty stalls though? Like you always hear the complaints from women that there's not enough women's toilet stalls or some shit like that. But if it's like a video game event, I would assume that it's pretty empty compared to the number of men versus women, but maybe not anymore. Everybody's fucking here to cosplay and stuff, so... I heard that there was like a Chinese bathroom where they started adding timers to women's toilet stalls. Like you could see the timer of how long the person was sitting in the stall, like outside the stall in which they were sitting. And then like people started rotating super fast after that, is what I heard. Because it exposed them for sitting in the toilet stall for like 30 minutes, checking their phone and shit. They're like, now I have to get out now. I picked a bad time to eat chocolate, god damn it. I mean, it's just shitbagging, guys. We're all gamers here. Don't tell me that none of you guys have been shitting in a bag to maximize your gaming sessions. See, now that it's been mentioned.
You jump from when you die. That's the new rule of the game. You talk, you die.
Demetrius, get off the game, go to the bathroom, and take a shit. Now.
Hey.
Bathroom and shit now. Go to the bathroom and take a shit. I can smell you. Get off.
Hey,
Go to the bathroom.
Get out.
Go to the bathroom. I can smell you shitting yourself. Get up and go to the bathroom. Now.
No.
Get
No.
up and go to the bathroom.
Not yet. What the hell?
Go
Not
to
yet.
the bathroom. You're shitting yourself.
Not yet. What the hell?
Go to the bathroom. You're shitting yourself.
Not yet. No.
Not yet.
Rip everything apart. I swear to God. Go to the bathroom.
Not yet.
You're shitting yourself.
Not yet.
You're shitting yourself. Poop is coming out of your fucking
Hey.
asshole. Go to the bathroom.
Not yet. What the hell?
Go.
Not yet. No.
Go to the goddamn bathroom.
Not yet.
He has such resolute... Just the will of this man to not go to the bathroom yet, even if he's shitting himself. It's honestly pretty inspiring. This is what I imagine having kids is like. I mean, at least he's enjoying the video game. I don't think there's many games I played recently where I'm like, I'm enjoying myself so much, I'm not gonna go to the bathroom yet, even though I'm shitting myself, you know? Even games I do enjoy, I can't muster that level of enthusiasm for them. I decided that I wasn't good enough to draw things without drawing rough drafts, and I decided that I wasn't good enough to draw faces without properly plotting shit. This was after watching YouTube videos where like professional artists were like, I had difficulty until I started, you know, properly mapping out the face, and I was like, I guess it's stupid for me to think I'm above that shit just because I can draw a little. If like we have professional artists who are like, yeah, I just map it out every single time, I'm like, maybe it would be easier. I often do end up like adjusting the spacing of eyes and stuff like that. after I draw it. So I may as well just... I've entered my measure twice, draw once area of my artistic career, I guess, is what I'm saying. Finally watched Gachi Akta, and against every fiber of will, actually I'm really enjoying it. I bought the first volume of Gachi Akta the last time I went to Japan because I liked the line thickness that he uses, but then I wasn't really interested in the plot at all, so I stopped following it completely. In general, I'm not really interested in anything that comes out of Shonen Magazine. Shonen Magazine historically has been about delinquents, love comedies, and sports. And none of the things they make usually speak to me in any way, so I have never really invested much into it. But if I want to become a pro mangaka, I might have to go to Shonen Magazine, so I should probably be reading it and trying to figure out their viewer base somehow. BB wants Taiwanese to be on Shonen Jump. Shonen Jump, I feel like, still has the most widest variety of different topics it covers, but it's becoming more and more of a female readership-centered magazine. So, and I'm a very heterosexual male type creator, so I don't know if it's going to be the best place for me to go to. I'm still thinking of targeting Shonen Jump Plus, which is the Shonen Jump online website, because it's not a published magazine. It means if like you're getting behind in your weekly releases, they'll actually let you take a rest and catch up and stuff, which is not the case for the magazine at all. But if it's online, they don't have like a number of pages you have to hit, so it's a very much a different situation. So I definitely don't want to be like in a published magazine. I want to be online. I'm basically at the point where I can probably I have the necessary artistic skills to probably get a one-shot through the competitions that they have if I do it a few times. Maybe not on the first try, but so the question is, what do I want to do after that? Dress Up Darling and Dorohedoro fall into a Did a Woman Really Write This category, LOL. Yes, and Jujutsu Kaisen falls into a Did a Man Really Write This category, considering all the characters are like specifically designed to appeal to the fetishes of women. Whoa, Gojo-san. Whoa, I want to suck his penis so much. Look, 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 look. Is what all the female readers are thinking at all times. Apparently, Gege has been on TV and stuff, but I still believe it's a man. I'm sure Jujutsu Kaisen is written by a woman. I don't care what people say. Nanami is the real husband, though. I think I read some Nanami Gojo porn where Nanami was like a beta and Gojo was the alpha, and he was like, "You can't impregnate me, I'm a beta. You're supposed to do that against Omegas." And Gojo was like, "No, you're in heat. I must impregnate your pussy." I believe it was something like that. It's disproportionate the amount of Gojo stuff I see my female university mates. Yes. They all want to be impregnated by Gojo, but even more than that, they want to see Gojo impregnate other men. There's actually quite a lot of Japanese manga written by women that are very much seem to be male oriented. I mean, some of the best-selling, most beloved shonen manga properties are written by women, and they're not necessarily hiding it, you know? Whether it's Takahashi Rumiko and all the Rama and love comedy stuff, or Arakawa Hiromu and Full Metal Alchemist, or, you know, the most recent Kimetsu no Yaiba stuff, you know. Those are all female authors right there. And you can see some sort of female themes in their content, but not unless you're looking for it, I would say. This head is a little too small. Let's increase it, its size. Didn't Kubo call Gege a homo? He said Gege didn't make appealing women. I don't know. There's like a million Kugisaki Nobara AI porn sets out there, so I think he's doing okay. Men are simple creatures. You just give us a high school girl with big boobs and we're like, whoa, it is now time for me to come. It's pretty simple. I mean, it's not like Bleach where it's been like 20 years since Bleach was at its peak of popularity, and we're still getting like 5,000 image sets of Matsumoto Rangiku lactating everywhere and stuff like that, so. The Bleach girls are basically time-running characters at this point. I mean, the time-running author even drew art of them, so. Jujutsu Kaisen has its strength, and it isn't in the female characters in design or writing, or story quality, or overall plot, or comedy, or... Wait, what is Jujutsu Kaisen's strength? Hype moments and aura do, yes. In other words, exactly the same as Bleach. It's what shonen manga should aspire to be. A lot of bullshit hype moments. I mean, I'm sure the Shonen Jump magazine would love to have Jujutsu Kaisen in their roster right now. Considering the sales that they have to make do on other battle stuff like Kagurabachi and shit. Hell, if we're talking about female authors doing shonen, Shonen Jump's current #2 shonen series is about a man becoming a male witch and wearing pretty frilly clothes illustrated by a female. Still feel kind of bad for the author with the fake hype. Somebody needs to be #1. They have to push somebody. Kodo Princess art is also Nishimura Kinu? Yes. My favorite Capcom versus SNK art is by Nishimura Kinu, this one. It's Yuri and Sakura getting in a fight, and then Chun-Li and Mai being like the adults in the room and getting in a fight for them. Like, stop bullying this little girl kind of shit. I think this is hilarious. The booba is also nice. Who did the Street Fighter Beach artwork? I think a lot of different artists have done Street Fighter Beach artwork. Nishimura Kinu has also done Street Fighter Beach artwork. Talking about this one. This is what they based off the current swimsuits for. Done in like '97. delicious. You can thank her for being able to see Chun-Li's ass crack in the new costumes, of course, because that's where it comes from. Let's draw the jewelry here. Well, let's get the hair down a little longer. I am more entranced with Chun-Li's back than her ass. The female backline is extremely important. It guides the body line of the back and its muscles, guides the male gaze down toward her ass and pubic area. It's just as much a sexual organ as the actual sexual organs, just like the tummy is. This is why obesity is bad, because it eliminates all those vertical lines that guide the eye downward, which is what makes things sexy. This is my personal theories about stuff. Is the body has these vertical lines that kind of blend into each other as they travel down the streamline of the body. But they have a tendency to guide your line toward the sexo areas as well. This is why an utmost amount of care must be given when drawing the abs. Do that muscle lady Custodes from 40K carrying a nuclear weapon. I don't know what you're talking about. Damn, I've gotten so much better at drawing after drawing those 45 pages of manga. It took me like 6 months, but I can really feel the increase in skill that has happened. Like, I just have a way better understanding of like where to put different shapes and different lines and stuff. I'm also doing a way better job drawing on stream as well. I couldn't really draw at all on stream, but I'm still drawing pretty slow, but I'm still drawing way better than I was before I did those 40 pages. You are doing stuff really clean from the get-go. I really organized my line work and how to do it. So I can't remember if I had this pen before I started, but I think I created this pen during those 45 pages. It says custom real G pen tip. I really went into all the settings and figured out what the pen pressure settings and like all the shit that you have to go through. Like here, you have all these different things. And I figured out which settings allowed me to draw which kind of line. So now I have a pen where I can really kind of just flick these clean long lines that looks a lot like the analog G pen lines, and I wasn't able to do that before. So now I can just draw legs like this, just like 1, 2, 3, like this, and I don't have to like try and clean up the line and stuff. So, and I figured out the thickness it needs to be. It needs to be somewhere between 20 and 30, depending on how thick you want the line. But now that I have a good idea of the resolution that we're going to use for printing, it kind of lets me figure out how dark stuff needs to be, including the lines, which allows me to fiddle around with line thickness and understand what line thickness I should use in certain situations, which means I don't have to go and like readjust anything. I can just go bap, bap, bap. Although I don't like this line right here. The elbows get really sharp if you have them above your head. This arm might be a little too long. Let me see. From here to, yeah, it's a little too long. Maybe I can just lower this line right here. That might be all I need. She's gonna have thin ass arms anyways. Yeah, I think that's good enough. And that's not even counting all the other stuff like thinking about perspective and like form and shit like that, which is stuff that I've been forced to study to draw the backgrounds and shit, so. It feels a little off. I just said I could do it in one stroke, but I can't. This is why I've said that I'm going to start doing rough drafts now. Because I think I have been overestimating my abilities. This entire arm actually probably needs to be at a different angle. 'Cause it's like, so the hip is diagonal, which means this needs to go up. Like this, probably. Here's a pro tip, contrapposto. So if the hips are like this, then the opposite happens for the shoulders. This is just how your body works. When one hip goes up, the other side comes down up top, and this goes up. What else do I need to draw? I just got to the Washizu arc in Akagi and I still don't understand Mahjong. Don't worry, if you just got to the Washizu arc in Akagi, you'll have approximately like, what, 50 more volumes to learn Mahjong? I haven't actually been following the Washizu arc, but I know that it goes on for basically forever, for all of eternity, so... What's up? Why not draw with pencils and paper? Because I won't be able to erase everything with pencils and paper. That's why. It's insanely easier to draw everything with digitally than pencils and paper. I'm doing shit in easy mode. And I don't plan to change that. I don't play games in easy mode, but when I'm drawing, I'm definitely going to draw in easy mode. And that's what digital is. Even if you're not like blatantly cheating, like using pre-rendered backgrounds or like 3D models or shit like that, it's still way, way easier. To think the manga making process humbled BB Sensei this much to admit to do rough draft, it truly is daunting to post stuff this long every few months or so. The truth is, when I started watching all these videos of professional manga artists, not necessarily manga artists, but like some of the comic artists and stuff like that, they all were basically doing rough drafts, so I was like, who the fuck am I kidding? There was like one guy who didn't do it, I forgot his name, Yoshihiko, the Gundam author, and even he still did pencils. But almost everyone at least does like this kind of like really loose, sketchy shit where they try and kind of find the general form, and then they usually refine it a little bit, and then they do the inking. But the Gundam guy was an animator, and animators are kind of a different breed. They're not like us. They have to draw so much faster than everybody else. If it just comes to like just drawing shit and putting it on paper quickly, like animators are like 2 or 3 steps above everybody, like in terms of like understanding form. It goes like number 1 animators, number 2, I don't know, number 3 is like manga or something. We'll say like illustrators here. And number 4 is like painter, render monkey. See, if you're just painting shit, like you can just like get away with a ton of stuff. You can just have shitty ass form if you're a painter and just, you know, get away with a bunch of shit. Animation is a skill I cannot even fathom. It is technical understanding how bodies move on such a deep level. Also artistry, yeah. You have to know like how everything is moving, and then you have to like be able to get that shit down to like a stylized version of that, and then you have to do that in like 3 minutes because everybody is on insane deadlines, and then you get paid below minimum wage to do this shit. So I don't know why anybody goes into the animation industry. Of all the things that require like insane skill but have horrible fucking pay, nothing is worse than the fucking animation industry. Like, I don't understand how it works that way, but it's just like, yeah, you have to be able to be like, draw like an insanely high level, but also you'll never get paid any money. Are you okay with this? And people are like, yeah, sure, sounds about right. Thanks to the traditions of both Disney and Tizca, both known for being extremely shitty employers. Actually, oh, I forgot that this is closed right here. This is actually a slit, because this elf is a giga slot. What's going on here? Tezuka was like, I'm dying, but I better keep drawing manga. He was also like, work harder, slaves. You must work as hard as me. And everyone was like, no, please. And then he ruined the industry for everybody, unfortunately. Hashtag just Japanese things. What level is the humble AI prompter on? Above everybody. All he has to do is just type a few sentences and create a masterpiece in a few seconds. AI prompter-san, I kneel. I could never reach the level of mastery that you've accomplished. The animation industry as America shot itself in the head when it decided to focus all its resources in California. Wasn't it already focused in California? I know the reputation of like how everything just goes to Cal Arts and they just get all their animators from Cal Arts. That's what I've heard, but wasn't there already a shit ton of stuff already hyper-focused in California? Just the way Hollywood is. AI prompter is above human struggle. True. California has sunny weather and a lot of vaguely plausible locations to shoot on, which is why it took root in LA, and past that has just been inertia. Yes. You go to UCLA or USC and then you just get, you find other people in the industry and then it goes from there, I assume. It's all nepotism, right? You know a guy who knows a guy in literally every industry, so once some sort of industry takes hold, you just let the nepotism carry it forever. Speaking of AI, I heard that the total amount of money that went into AI was more than the amount of money that was spent by consumers in the entire United States for the last like quarter or whatever. So if any of you is thinking of investing in the fucking stock market right now, I would highly advise against it. Unless you truly think that whatever AI technology we're creating right now is gonna usher in a new age of like insane productivity. Hashtag it's not. Naruto and Boruto are Nepos for sure. Ichigo and Goku are Nepos too. Who actually isn't a Nepo in Shonen, now that you think about it? Yagami Light is the son of literally the police chief. Isn't Luffy the son of Dragon? I don't know what's... I guess we haven't been told what Luffy is at this point yet. The AI is this close to bursting. Like, I'm sure at this point the AI bros know this as well, like deep down, that they don't really have any way to make $1 billion off of this technology. But everybody is like in so much denial. So I don't know what's going to cause the AI bubble to burst, but there's no way that they can keep on going this for like 5 more years. They're like, guys, don't worry. It will start having massive returns and make us a shit ton of money any day now, guys. Just need to diamond hand this shit, bros. You were right not to watch Gachi Akta. Its creator is a hell of a boss fan. Literally descendants from Garp, the strongest marine. Unless the emergent features of AGI begin to show like tomorrow, being able to tell how many R's are in a strawberry, the LLM AI bubble burst is imminent. Yeah, you'd think they would be able to like kind of use the technology in LLMs to like do other shit with it, right? But it really seems like they can't. I actually thought initially that like the technology was transferable, but it really is just like reading the internet and shitting the internet back out. Like you'd think that, cause like they were able to do, what would you call it? The learning stuff for like Go and like Dota and shit. Like they were able to set up, like before we had LLMs, we had like the whole like training data shit. So I thought they would be able to do training data for like other stuff, like, you know, training a car how to drive, but like it's not working, right? It turns out that it's different being able to beat somebody in a board game and having a industry in which if you run somebody over with your shitty AI driven car, you suddenly have a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit. The market for a machine that tells you bullshit is a lot shallower than you think, especially because we already had a machine that tells us bullshit. That's the thing. It's not that shallow. It's just that it's not any more than the current version of the internet, right? We could already be like, Alexa, you know, how much anal reaming should I do if I'm worried about my asshole or whatever like that? And Alexa would be like, let me bring up the anal reaming subreddit or something. You're like, we already had that. So LLMs aren't actually adding much to the equation. It's just the AI bros really have to pretend like they are. Because if it's not, then they can't justify the $8 gorillion they're investing in it every single day. I do not like AI trying to take our jobs. I just want them to do the stupid chores I don't want to do. Silly, silly. That's what you exist to do in the first place. Now go into the kitchen and make us all a sandwich. I mean, robotics, if it would work, that would be so cool. Unfortunately, it's still much easier to just have slaves, i.e. immigrants or your wife, to do the chores instead. I mean, now that Trump is president, maybe that's the solution. Just legalize slavery again. And AI could do what CEOs do and do it better. I mean, what do CEOs do, period? Do they do anything? I don't think so. I mean, the only thing I know about CEOs is that they make a lot of decisions, and whether it makes the company more money or less money, they still get like a huge bonus, and that's all about it. That's all I know. Like, I don't think anything that CEOs do is actually connected to being productive in reality, so. Boston Dynamics silently becoming more canny as time goes on. Atlas 2 getting up still haunts me from time to time when I find it in my timeline. The problem is that we can't just have like bipedal robots. We have to have bipedal robots that are cheaper than human labor for it to justify it in capitalism, which is a really, really tall asking price considering that human beings can just shit out children left and right. And they will learn to walk up, stand up and walk without billions of dollars invested in them. You can have an uneducated slave labor child for very, very cheap if you're not going to send them to college and pay $500,000 on their college education. If AI replaced doctors and teachers instead of artists, its creators would be executed on live air. I think you vastly overestimate how much American society cares for teachers and the healthcare system as well, actually. It would only get in trouble if it tried to replace, I don't know, stock traders, i.e. the people who invest in the companies. They always say go to the kitchen and make a sandwich. Lack of creativity. Also, nothing stopping me from the Slim Shady treatment of your burger. Unfortunately, in Japan, doing the Slim Shady treatment to the burger only makes the burger worth more, depending on what type of female you are. If you're a Japanese high schooler and you start spitting in the burger, the ugly Oji-san will only be happy. You'll have to start charging extra for the spit burger. Also, I don't actually want a woman to make my sandwich. Also, I don't eat sandwiches at this point. I mainly eat rice. I have the Japanese diet going on. I think we are going to make these jewels a nice thick black. Spit burger, we guarantee someone spit in your burger. To be honest, I mean, spit isn't that big a deal compared to some of the other shit that is already in the burger, like, you know, all the industrial chemicals they probably put in the meat to make sure it can last in the freezer for, you know, 8 months. Remember when an American news channel did like a huge news on McDonald's hamburger meat and called it like pink slime and stuff, and then McDonald's sued like ABC or whatever for grossing people out about their hamburger meat, and they won, and the court was like, you can't say that about McDonald's meat even if it looks disgusting. You're hurting their reputation. And I was just like, you know what? This is exactly what I was bargaining for when I walked into McDonald's. I truly don't give a fuck. People are shocked the nuggies were anything but strawberry yogurt. I forgot, wasn't it just like the way the ground beef was chucked up that it made it look all pink because it has all the fat inside it as well? Hamburger pink slime.
McDonald's, have you heard it's not good for you? It really is not. This one is big, and I'm completely shocked by this story because everyone's heard about the pink slime with McDonald's, and we're going to get into that in just a second. But just this past eating other cows and all that kind of stuff.
It's real
but it's cheap, but it's just as cheap as McDonald's, and yet for some reason people still go to McDonald's. So I don't know that it's all
the white bleached and rich flour bun. So like,
yes, please.
Yeah, he was very proud to tell me he goes protein salad. By the way, wait, I want to show you guys a picture of the pink slime in case you haven't seen the pink slime.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. Really just try to get that in your brain and go 13% of my McDonald's burger until they just change this recipe or formula, as you aptly called it, is that.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly can't remember.
Wait, so what is it? Is it not like meat and fat? What is McDonald's pink slime? Known as lean, finely textured beef, LFTB. It's always good when they have a fucking acronym. It's a processed beef product created by finely grinding beef trimmings and treating them with ammonium hydroxide, a chemical that kills bacteria. Man, I don't know why people are so freaked out about it. It's fucking McDonald's, guys. You're getting cancer anyways. How bad can it be? Wasn't this fake news? No, using it as fake news. The fact that they're still using it as fake news, the fact that they were using it isn't fake news. We don't know if it's actually bad for us or not. They use ammonia to disinfect it, which might or might not be bad for a long-term health, but eating red meat is also bad for a long-term health, so, you know, what can we say? You will eat the America slop and you will like it after you wank with the Sydney Sweeney soap. Feels good to be an American man. Jacking off with my girl's professionally sold whole soap. And then eating my heavily processed fatty burger. Wait, why the fuck did I draw the cape to be so short? I fucked this up. I think I'm gonna have to change the cape after I draw the thief. I still want to choose between heart cancer and colon cancer. You can have both. No need to be picky. McDonald's will give you both. Be patient and you can have a cancer buffet. To be fair, if you wait long enough, your cancer will start spreading to a variety of parts, so it doesn't have to be like one area. Hashtag just live in China. Americans going to court is always so funny because it always ends with the richest guy winning and people are always surprised each time. That's not always true. There are times in which the less rich party wins, but instead of winning they have to settle, and then they just get an undisclosed amount of money, and then they have to shut up about the issue forever, and we never hear about it, and then society doesn't have to change because they quote-unquote settled, so that means that nobody was wrong. It would be like random person gets anally raped by McDonald's 30 times, and then they go to court, and then it's like, oh, surely McDonald's will admit that anally raping people is a bad company policy, and it'll be like the anally raped guy was, he settled, and then it's like, well, that's the last we'll hear about that, and that's it. Citizens United was a mistake? Really? You think? You know what was also a mistake? The Democrats fucking electing a guy who was actively being called out for sexually harassing someone into a position in which he can't be fired and he gets to stay there forever. And the only reason he gets to have that position is because he was black and he was replacing a different, better black judge. I'm sorry if I've offended any Clarence Thomas fans in the chat. I'm sure he's a very nice person when he isn't helping his wife literally overthrow the fucking government. It turns out that maybe if the guy is being accused of like watching porn with a character named Long Dong Silver and asking his secretary to comment on it, he might have some other moral deficiencies in other parts of his life as well. Just a hunch. Leaving pubes on Diet Cokes like a fucking degenerate. You need to read his biography again. I actually don't remember the total, like, Anita Hill, all the shit he actually got in trouble for. I just remember Long Dong Silver. It's insane that he got confirmed by Democrats, but it was a different time. They're like, he's black. He's just like us. Surely he will vote for leftist policies. Even before Anita Hill stuff, Clarence Thomas was a fucking mess. I mean, all you need to know is that the more recent news that part of the bribes he was getting was like fucking RV mobile homes. That's the type of luxury he likes wasting his blood money on, is fucking driving around in a luxury RV, so... So another thing I learned drawing this 40 pages of manga is to bring out the hard blacks, like right here. Smash the blacks. You have to have some amount of blacks somewhere. You watch the new Death Battle? I do not watch Death Battle. In fact, I probably don't watch any of the things that you assume I watch. I don't get to play video games anymore. I don't get to watch anything anymore. It's only drawing all the time, unfortunately. Maybe this isn't good. This is why I did it on a different layer. This might be too much black. I have to figure that out. I mean, Nishimura Kinu in her drawing is using these hard blacks on the shadows underneath the skirt, so I think it's good enough, but... Sounds like he shouldn't be a judge, yes. If you wonder why America is kind of dissolving right now, it's because they have morally questionable human beings at every highest branch of government somehow. And it kind of started with Clarence Thomas. He's certainly the oldest of all the problems we have right now in terms of, like, morally questionable human beings. He's definitely been around the longest. The Democrats fought for this dude ferociously so they can't even claim ignorance or innocence. So... there was a black judge before him called Thurgood Marshall. I believe that was the previous judge. And he was a very good Supreme Court judge. And black people were just universally the voting demographic for Democrats at the time. So they're like, we'll get another black judge, and he has to replace this other black judge. And they didn't really think very much about what kind of person they were getting, but the person they got was not the right kind of person you want to have in the highest legal position in the land in perpetuity. And it's basically the Democrats' fault, hilariously. Only the morally questionable would want to be at the top. I mean, in the case of Supreme Court justices, you don't actually run for anything, you just continue to be a judge, and eventually you're supposed to get nominated. So it's not as bad as people who want to run for president and stuff. There's different levels of moral questionability, I would say. There's I just love power in general, and then there's like people like Trump who are like, I love power in general, but also I'm gonna run like 15 scams in office right now. Like, everybody who is going to become president is going to be, like, power hungry, no matter how good they are, unless they're, you know, Jimmy Carter, I guess. But there's a reason why Jimmy Carter was a one-term president. Jimmy Carter was like, how can I make this country better and serve my people, the citizens? And everyone was like, get this fucker out right now. This weak little piece of shit. Let's get some more of that Nixon guy. How about Nixon? He seems to have a good handle on everything. I side-eye any boomer Democrat. They are iffy as fuck. I mean, like, pretty much all the politics pre, I don't know, 1970 is all questionable shit, right? Like, Democrats weren't exactly, like, trying super hard to end Jim Crow themselves. They're all sort of in the same boat of, like, yeah, there's probably a few Ku Klux Klan members in here kind of shit, so. As bad as it is right now, remember that it was actually worse back in the day. As impossible as that might seem. Democrats were the conservative party. So the entire, if you're in Europe and you don't understand the American party system, the entire current two-party system that we have right now literally flipped during the civil rights era. The Democrats were the Southern Democrats, and they were the one who were supporting essentially a continuation of slavery. And then Lyndon Johnson was like, okay, this whole Jim Crow thing, we can't keep it going. And this pissed off people so much that everybody who was a Democrat who really, really, really liked racism was like, I'm a Republican now. And like all the people who voted for Democrats who also really, really, really liked racism were like, we're Republicans now. So overnight, the party that was Lincoln's party flipped and became the racist party. And then the Democrats became the non-racist black party, although they were still pretty racist, of course. So, like, if you ever wonder why the American Republican Party is so fucked up, it's a party entirely created in the of people who wanted to keep racism going. It's a pretty fucked up situation. The two American parties are right-leaning. We hardly have any left in America. What, do you want health care? You sick fuck. Fucking commie in the chat asking to have some kind of universal healthcare system. Joseph McCarthy didn't fight in the war, so you fucking commies could take over our country. Hashtag these colors don't run. Man, wrinkles are hard. Shit, I think this is right here is wrong. I think I have to redraw this part. This might be too sharp an angle. I'm not sure what's the problem here. I've been trying to get better at wrinkles for so long. Oh my god. And I really did get a lot better. Yeah, that looks better during this manga, these 40 pages, but I'm still not good enough. This dude breaks down the parties thing pretty well. Well, it's pretty easy considering we only have 2 fucking parties. If you're a Euro and you want me to introduce the 2 American parties, we have one party that is pro-corporation and gives money and weapons to Israel and doesn't like black people. And we have the other party who is slightly less pro-corporation but also still pro-corporation and gives money and weapon to Israel and also doesn't like black people but needs to be the party of black people because that's the only way they win elections. And that's basically the 2 differences. And you're just sort of hoping that the Democratic Party won't be as shitty as the Republican Party, or that Republican voters will at some point wake up and stop being incredibly stupid, but that's a really bad gamble, so that's it. The entirety of American politics right there. It's just like, oh god, please, please Republican voters, please stop being fucking retarded for once, please. He's literally saying he's gonna scam you. Please stop voting for him. It's like, no, too much. A cope I heard is, well, healthcare isn't free, but at least you get it right away. That is the hardest cope I have ever heard. The American system is just as shitty, but shitty with a premium. So I pay $350 a month for my Obamacare market insurance. I finally was able to get a appointment with my primary care physician. We both agree that I need to see a doctor for my hemorrhoids. This was in July, and I was like, okay, when can I schedule my appointment with my hemorrhoid doctor? And they were like, the first we have is fucking February. So, yeah. You cannot see a doctor right away. They're scheduling like a year in advance to see like a single fucking doctor. It's pretty bad. I wonder what it's like to be if you're like actually rich, what the healthcare system is like. Because there's no way rich people go through the same kind of shit, right? But they still have to use some kind of insurance, right? So I wonder how it works. Maybe they don't use insurance. Maybe there's just like a private healthcare system for rich people. Like, what does Elon do when he's sick? Does he just be like, I'm gonna go to my personal doctor? Like, how the fuck does this shit work? Because there's no way Elon is waiting like, you know, a year to see a fucking specialist, right? So, and at what income level does this shit change for rich people in America? That's an interesting question. They have private doctors. I'm sure they have like private doctors, and then they also like the private doctors know like other doctors within the system, and then that combination, like you could get whatever doctor you want if you're like super giga rich, is probably how it works. Looking forward to going back to Japan, guys, where you can actually schedule something like a month in advance. I know this sounds impossible, but... Alright guys, I'm going to end the stream here. Next stream we will continue drawing this and draw the thief and the thief's abs. But I have to start working on my fucking last background for the manga instead. Not looking forward to it. It's going to be painful, but it must be done. See you around, guys. Good night.